Good morning and welcome to Living the Keto Lifestyle. This is Serena and this is What's for Dinner Tonight. This is my special recipe of chili. We're starting out with ground beef and we're going to season it while we're cooking. It just started, but I like to put my seasonings on as it's cooking. So one of the main ingredients for a good chili is chili powder. I use it freely. And it's good to cook some of the seasonings in with the meat. Now, if you wanted to, you could grate some onions, dice some onions and saute them before you start grinding your meat. But my videographer, Rosie, hates onions, so I just skip that part. But I do add a little bit of onion flavor. She can't even tell it's there. And then cumin, very important. Cumin is one of those seasonings that is used in a lot of Mexican cooking, enchiladas and stuff, that gives the taco meat that really good flavor. So I love cumin, and it's good for you too. It can help reduce inflammation. Paprika, another one of my favorites. I get as many organic seasonings as I can. A little bit of cayenne. I can't put as much cayenne as I would like to because little Riley is only 8 years old and his palate is a little more sensitive. So just a little bit of cayenne for just a touch of flavor but not a lot of heat. And then one of my favorites, garlic. Garlic is so good for you. It's good for your heart. It helps get rid of any parasites you might have. I know that's a nasty topic, but you know, it works. And then my favorite, seasonal salt, which has a little bit of everything mixed in. So I sprinkle it on pretty good and cook that seasonings into the meat. Now the type of meat you get is up to you. Grass-fed beef is best. It doesn't have to be the leanest meat. When you're doing keto, you want a little natural fat. You don't want the leanest cuts. So I believe this one was an 80-20. 80% lean, 20% fat. Which is a good mix. Now while this is browning, I'm going to come over to my crock pot and add seasonings to the crock pot. So more of the same, lots and lots and lots of chili powder. And cumin. Paprika. This is smoked paprika. Has a really nice flavor. Just a touch more cayenne, not too much. Feel free to make it as spicy as you like. Garlic. I know this looks like a lot of seasonings in the bottom of this crock pot, but I am told that my recipe is just wonderful. My family used to tell me my cooking was bland. They don't tell me that so much anymore. This is a recipe that I came up with myself I didn't find it in any cookbook. I just started doing it, and I've had rave reviews on it. This is celery seed, just adds a little bit of nutrition. You don't have to have that. It's just a little added something. Now, you can use ground pepper. I like garlic a lot, so I'm using garlic pepper. Yeah, that's a new one. Hasn't been opened yet. It smells wonderful. And just a touch of ground cinnamon. Cinnamon adds just a little bit of flavor, and it's great for lowering your blood sugar. That was a little more than what I usually do, but I think it'll be all right. I'll check in on our meat. It's almost ready. So, a church that we went to before we moved away, they used to have, every time there was 5 Sundays or Wednesdays, I can't remember. Anyway, anytime there was 5 of the, I think, Sundays in a month, that Sunday night we would have beans and cornbread night. So everybody would bring their beans and cornbread, and we would have a fellowship together. Well, Frank doesn't like beans, so that didn't go too well with him. So I started making chili every time we had beans and cornbread night. I make my chili without beans because of Frank, and without onions because of Rosie, and not too spicy because of Riley. So all these different people have influenced my recipe. But I would take my chili, and there would be, 5 or 6 different crock pots of different styles of beans, and there would be my chili. And I would always take home an empty crock pot. Other people were taking home half their beans, but my crock pot was empty. So, I've been told it's good. So this is actually 9:45 in the morning. This is going to cook, slow cook in the crock pot all day. And then for dinner tonight, it'll be ready. See, I like these quick, easy recipes where you do a little bit of work and then you just let it slow cook. The less effort I can put into my cooking, the happier I am. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to drain this. It's pretty well cooked, and it can finish off cooking in the crock pot. Now I'm adding the ground meat to the crock pot. I've strained most of the grease off. If there's a little bit left, that's okay. It doesn't matter at this point, because as it cooks, some of those juices from the meat are going to mix and add flavor. Now I'm going to add 2 cans of organic diced tomatoes. Now I haven't planned this far enough ahead to go get the different flavors like I usually do. You can get diced tomatoes that are fire roasted, garlic flavored, green chilies, all different sorts of flavors. You can pick your flavor. I've done all different kinds. But today, I don't have those available right now. I'm probably going to go to the store later and get some to add to this. I normally also add 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce just to give it a little bit of thickness. I don't drain the juices off. Doesn't matter how watery they are. Some brands are more watery than others. These are pretty thick right here. Yeah, that's perfectly fine because we need those juices. Okay? So add the tomatoes. Usually I'll use one of these really big cans of just plain tomatoes, and then 3 or 4 smaller cans of the different flavored ones. Since I'm adding the others later, I'm just going to do 2 large cans for now. I'm going to start this cooking, and then I'll add my other ingredients this afternoon after I've run some errands. Now I'm missing my secret ingredient. What I do that makes my chili different from anyone else. It is red quinoa. Now, not everybody knows what quinoa is, and it's not strictly keto because it is a grain. But it's used to substitute a lot for rice. It's a high protein, lower carb than most grains, and high fiber grain. For this huge crock pot, 2 pounds of meat, I only put a 1/4 cup of quinoa in it. And people will look in there and go, what is that stringy stuff in there? That means the quinoa is sprouted, and it increases its nutritional value. It's really good for you, and that is the secret ingredient for my chili. I prefer the red quinoa because it has a nuttier, richer flavor. But you can use, it comes in white or black, but red is my favorite. So I'm going to run to the store here in a bit and get some to add to it. But I'm going to go ahead and start this cooking in the crock pot, and then I'll add my other ingredients when I get home. Okay, so it is now about 2:30. So this has been cooking for several hours. I just got back from running my errands. I picked up some organic diced tomatoes with green chilies while I was at Walmart, and the can of tomato sauce, and red quinoa, the secret ingredient. So normally I would have had all this stuff in there from the beginning, but because I didn't have it there earlier, I'm going to go ahead and add it now. Those green chilies look really good. They add a lot of flavor too. Normally the quinoa I would have put on the bottom of the crock pot before I added anything else besides seasonings, and that way it gets to cook and soak in all the juices. Today I'll just have to stir it in from the top. But it's got plenty of time because it's still going to be cooking for at least 2 more hours before we eat it. So they'll have plenty of time to cook and sprout. That makes it a little richer, thicker. Stir all this in. See, that tomato sauce just adds another layer of thickness to everything. Now I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of quinoa is all I need, even for this big crock pot. We don't want to overwhelm everybody with it. Just enough. And then stir this in. Like I said, normally this would be on the bottom and all the liquids and stuff would be put on top. It would have been slow cooked for hours, but it's still got a couple of hours, so it'll still be cooked nicely. I'll show you the finished product here in a couple of hours. So how's it look?
Looks delicious.
It is now 5:45 and it was about 9:30, 9:45 when I started things this morning.
Lots of tomatoes.
Yes.
Very, very, very yummy looking.
Now you can't have crackers with this, but you could have a salad on the side.
Yeah, salads are good.
And our favorite shredded cheese on top. This is cheddar cheese. You can do different types of cheese if you like. Yum, yum. Riley, doesn't this look yummy? What? Really?
He says no.
You've eaten it before and you've liked it.
I like pizza.
I know you
Yes,
do.
I know. So sorry.
Pizza.
We'll do some keto pizza soon, okay?
Can you make me a pizza?
Yummy.
Like keto
Bon appetit.
pizza.